Greetings again, Chumbas. Hello. This time we're going to cover Suppressive Fire. Now, this one comes from a post I put on Cyberpunk 2020 subreddit some time ago, asking for suggestions of what new players, what their questions were, if they had trouble understanding something, even advanced players maybe, or if you had trouble explaining a rule to somebody. Suppressive Fire was one of the things on the list, so here we go. Suppressive Fire. Suppressive fire is a rule you use when you're trying to deny access to an area, a hallway, a room, whatever. It doesn't matter. It can be a completely open area. That part doesn't matter. You're just trying to delay, deny access, whatever, to this spot. The way suppressive fire works, you've got one or more fully automatic weapons that are firing that way. They create a cone called a fire zone. You can have multiple weapons overlapping and covering the zone, getting that many more bullets going downrange. You can have these be remotely triggered, motion sensor triggered. They could be player or players, depending on how many weapons standing there, whatever it is. You don't have to roll, according to the core book rules, Cyberpunk 2020 core book rules. You do not need to roll to do a suppressive fire. You just point the weapon that way, pull the trigger. You got a suppressive fire zone. Okay. Now, how does this work? Basically, anybody trying to enter across or whatever your fire zone is going to have to make a roll, an athletics check, athletics skill check. That's their athletics skill plus their reflexes plus a die 10. If they beat the save, we're going to talk about save in a moment. They beat the save, then they don't get hit. They make it through your fire zone without any chance of any damage. They survive. Well, at least the fire zone, right? Anyway, okay. So they make it through the fire zone. They fail the save. They fail this check. They're going to take a die 6 rounds. Doesn't matter if you're putting 150 rounds in bullets into this fire zone. They fail their save. They take a die 6 bullets, die 6 rounds. You roll the locations randomly, roll each of their damage for each of the bullets that hit them individually, and that's what you got for the fire zone. Okay, now, where I lost my place on my notes. Okay, anyway, so, for example, you get somebody firing a 30-round magazine, a 30 automatic weapon, assault rifle that has 30 rounds, full auto. They fire 30 rounds down that way. How do you get the save? How do you know if they get hit? You take the width of the fire zone area. So it's a cone, so it depends on how far away they are. Further away, right? Further away, less chance you're going to hit them. Say they're 2 meters away when they try to cross your path, cross your fire zone. They're firing 30 rounds. 2 into 30 is 15. Their save is a 15. Here, we'll pop the math on the screen. There it is. With that formula there on the screen. So it's a 15. They roll a 15 on their athletics check or better. They made the save. They don't get hit. They fail that save. They take a die 6 rounds. There you go. Now, how do you make this more difficult? How do you further reduce the possibility of somebody getting through here without getting injured, without taking some rounds? Throw more bullets into the area. That's how. So you got to have a weapon that fires more rounds, or you use multiple weapons. You have multiple players or multiple automated weapons set up to fire into that same zone, overlapping the cones so that anybody trying to cross it has a chance of getting all of those rounds being in their way, right? So if you take that same 30-round weapon, you get 2 of them, now you got 60 rounds going into that area. Trying to cross at 2 meters again, just like in the previous example. 2 into 60. Now they have to roll a 30 or better. That's their save now, is a 30, right? So the closer they are, the better chance they're going to get. Now, the further away they are, the harder it is, the less chance they're going to get hit. So if they're 5 meters away, you get that 60 rounds, 5 meters away. Now they only have to roll a 12. So depends on where they are, depends on how many rounds you can put down range to determine, if they're going to get hit. Now, minimum cone for this. Let me flip over here to this one. Minimum width of this cone is 2 meters. Has to be at least 2 meters wide to make use of the suppressive fire rule. Also, You don't, geez, I don't know if I mentioned this already. I'm going to say it again in any case. If I did, I didn't. You don't have to fire, you don't have to roll to fire using the Suppressive Fire Rule. Now, as a ref, I don't know. I might ask that they roll anyway. Roll the skill with the weapon, especially if they're not skilled in the weapon, right? Maybe as a ref, maybe say if they have the skill, if they have at least say a 1 or a 2 or 3 or whatever the minimum you think it should be is, then they don't have to roll. If they don't have a skill with the weapon they're about to use, I think they should have to roll. You know, you should have some chance that they are so inept with this weapon that they cause it to jam, that they end up not doing the suppressive fire that they intended to do, whatever. But that's not what the core book says. Core book doesn't say you have to roll. It just says you do this, and here's how it works. Here's how you determine if anybody trying to cross the zone gets injured or gets hit, right? That is pretty much the rules for that. So anyway, there you go. Thank you. Appreciate you watching this one again. Do that stuff that YouTube likes you to do. I appreciate it. Let people know about the channel. If there's anybody you know, anybody else in your gaming group that might could use some help with some of the rules, or not sure if they understood something, or you want to talk about it more, also check out the Cyberpunk 2020 Reloaded game that I run every Friday. I appreciate your watching. See you in the next video.